The stage is set for the AFC Championship Game. The Denver Broncos will be hosting the New England Patriots as it was always supposed to be. We just found out, and we're going to break it down on an emergency show of the DNVR Broncos podcast. We got the full crew here. Super Bowl 50 champ Bennie Fowler, RK Hank. Let's go, fellas. 1 week from today.
Let's go, baby. Like you said, Zach, the way it's supposed to be. This is how it's always written. Broncos, Patriots at Mile High. Last two, obviously, AFC championships that the Broncos played in, they faced the Patriots at Mile High. So it always had to be like this.
It's a new, it's a new era. Or go ahead, Hank.
No, it's awesome. I mean, it's the two best teams in the AFC, and I think that throughout these playoffs, we found out that is like just like we thought coming into it. These are the two best teams, and the two best teams are going to be on the same field to decide it, and it just feels right.
It's been crazy just over the last. I guess it's been the last week on social media where everybody's just throwing it back to 2016, and then you get to throw it back to 2016 with this game and the 2026 version. You wish Bo Nix was out there because you want to see this next version of the rivalry. Obviously it was Peyton and Brady, and Peyton was at the end of his career, but Peyton 2-0 at Mile High against Brady. And New England, they struggle here regardless of who's at quarterback. So Broncos got the home field advantage. The whole city's behind Stiddy, and here we go.
The city's
I didn't realize
City, and you're absolutely right, Benny. This is some New England people, media members, were talking about a month ago, and they called Denver a house of horrors for the Patriots, and that's what it is. They had the GOAT, Tom Brady, and they still could not get it done in Denver.
Let's chill with the GOAT talk, man. He
don't do that in Denver.
He had a great career. He's obviously one of the best quarterbacks ever. Let's chill with the GOAT talk, okay? We had the GOAT quarterbacks play in Denver. You had John Elway, you had Peyton Manning. Look, Tom, when you're a GOAT, you have the pleasure of being picked in the first round. You have the honor of being picked in the first round. Tom Brady is he's the great underdog story. I don't know if we're gonna give him the GOAT comment. You have the honor of being picked in the first.
Okay, well, we'll do that. But Drake Maye making his first start on the road in the playoffs coming here. That is such an incredibly difficult task. Just look at Josh Allen yesterday and how difficult it was for him, a seasoned veteran in the playoffs, a seasoned road veteran in the playoffs, having played at Arrowhead nearly every single year, and he struggled mightily in Denver. He couldn't hear, and now this is going to be Drake Maye's first experience on the road in the playoffs. It is going to be so difficult for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's an interesting feeling right now, because if Bo Nix was our quarterback, it would be like this would be the NFL would want this so badly, and now I feel like we're gonna have to play against the NFL, because the NFL wants Drake Maye in that Super Bowl a lot more than they want Jarrett Stidham in that Super Bowl. But we got it at home. We got the crowd. It's Stiddy City. He's going to go out there and he's going to ball. And I really believe that. Sean Payton is going to put him in a position to play the best game of his life. The thing is, he's got to get the ball out fast. That is probably, in my opinion, going to be the biggest difference that you're going to see between Jarrett and Bo, is Bo does not get sacked, and no one, that's such a unique skill that he has over almost every other quarterback in the NFL, if not every other quarterback in the NFL. And you saw today what the Patriots did to C.J. Stroud when he was hanging on to that thing. So got to have a game plan to get the ball out quick. Got to run the ball successfully somehow, some way, and hopefully that involves J.K. Dobbins. But the best thing the Broncos have going for them, in my opinion, in this game is Sean Payton. Sean Payton is going to – he might put in double time than he already would have put in double time, it being the AFC Championship. He might just never stop working this entire week to try to put together a game plan.
No sleep.
Exactly. No sleep at all, just to try to get a game plan together to take advantage of all the ways that he can put Jarrett Stidham in a way to succeed in this game.
It is a shame that you don't have Bo, because I mean, this Patriots team, although like I said, I mean, they're the number 2 seed, they're deserving. I don't come away from watching these last 2 games thinking that's a team that should be going to the Super Bowl, though. And if Bo was playing, I'd be sitting here saying this is going to be awesome. Like the Broncos are overmatched them significantly. They've got the better defense, potentially have the better offense, I would say too. Although that one's more up for debate. And with Stidham, it's just a big question mark over the whole thing. It's disappointing. Apparently, the team store wasn't open today, which is crazy to me. The day after the game that gets you the AFC Championship game, so I wasn't able to go pick up the Stidham jersey. But it is what it is.
I was gonna surprise you guys.
Oh, really?
So I text Flip, the Broncos equipment manager, and I was like, "Hey, bro, we need Stiddy jerseys for the show tomorrow." And he was like, "Man, I don't know if I can do it to tomorrow, because they would have to be." He would give us number 8 jerseys, but they would be the game ones, not the hot pressed ones. And obviously he has more important things to focus on, like everything, getting them ready for practice. But yeah, I was trying to get some Stiddy jerseys. I'll still try to get some for the show, the AFC Championship show on Sunday. But
Let's go.
It is
Let's
going to
go.
be
Pick one up for us. We need one on the 7th.
if Bo was playing, I think it was going to be this was going to be a hard game to me regardless. But I think the one thing that if Bo was playing is, to what you guys have already said, Bo doesn't take any sacks. And the Patriots and all the man-to-man that they play, there were going to be so many running lanes for Bo. We obviously saw Sean call a lot of quarterback runs yesterday, which I think threw the Bills off balance. And then obviously Bo was just incredible in terms of the man-to-man situations and throwing dimes. The dime to Marvin Mims, the dime to Little Jordan Humphrey. He had 2 dimes to Little Jordan Humphrey, one that Little Jordan scored on and one that he dropped. But yeah, it would have been great to see it. And obviously this young quarterback class from 2024 is obviously playing extremely well. Jaden Daniels goes to the NFC Championship. Bo leads his team to the AFC Championship. Drake Maye leads his team to the AFC Championship in year 2. This quarterback class is playing. Yeah, and Caleb's got a chance tonight. So this class is playing extremely well. I think these 2 teams are really similar, though, in terms of you get experienced coaching staffs to come in here and turn things around, and well-coached, and well-disciplined teams. I don't think the Patriots defense is even close to the Broncos, but they do play extremely hard, which is something New England has always done. They never had household names necessarily, but played extremely hard and were disciplined. So it's going to be interesting to see Mike Vrabel and then the chess match with Sean Payton, and then also Josh McDaniels coming back to Denver, where I know people, constantly they don't like him, but he's put Drake Maye in really good position this year.
Don't like him is a very nice term for how Broncos country feels about Josh McDaniels. So that's going to be awesome. One really quick thing about Bo Nix, because I just found this absolutely incredible, and the nation needs to know. Guys, since he entered the league, he has the most deep touchdown passes, which is 20 or more yards in this term, of anyone in the NFL. 19 of them. Anyone in the NFL. And Bo gets all this crap for being a check down Charlie, and he is anything but that from that stat. He is a big play, deep ball Bo. So put some respect on his name. We'll see that again next year. But like you guys said, it's the Stiddy Show. And before I dive into this next thing that I want to get to, got to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor for these emergency pods, New Built, which is presenting this show, New Built Construction. When the home emergency hits, New Built Restoration and Construction will be there. It's NUBILT.com, or you can give them a call at 720-903-4254. Let them know DNVR sent you. And guys, it is going to be fun to be in the Stiddy City this week, but I think this game is going to come down to the Broncos defense, and that's going to be so key. They had 5 takeaways yesterday, which is the second most in Broncos postseason franchise history. And if the Broncos do that again, then they will absolutely win this game if they get anywhere close to that. And guys, we just saw a New England Patriots team that turned the ball over 3 times against another good defense, but the Broncos have the opportunity. If they did it to Josh Allen, they can do it to this Patriots team. You saw a couple of fumbles. Drake Maye threw an interception. I think that that's where this game is going to be huge, is this Broncos defense just continuing to take the ball away, which they're on a tear in the past 2 games.
And mark my words on this. They will take it up a notch this week. They will know that they have to. They have to pick up for the, Bo not being out there. Like, everyone on that defense is going to take it upon themselves to go to the next level this week. And when they go out there, it's just going to be a different mindset. It's not going to be like, all right, let's do our job, let's do theirs, or they'll do theirs. Like, it's going to be, we have to win this game. And you're going to see I think a Herculean effort from that defense next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel so much better about it after watching the Patriots play again, because you watch that offense against the Chargers and you're like, first playoff game for Drake Maye. Maybe he just needed to like knock some rust off. But then when it happens again today and you watch him, the score will say 28 points. That's because CJ Stroud
imploded.
I'm hoping the Raiders trade for CJ Stroud and we get to see a lot more of that guy moving forward. But you look through what the Patriots did. It's punt. They get like the touchdown drive, then punt, fumble, punt, touchdown. I think that was after a turnover, punt, intercept. Like, it's just over and over and over. Like, the number of decent drives they're able to put together, it's such a slim number. I think 5 3-and-outs today. It just happened to be that the Texans gave them enough short fields that the game was kind of out of reach at the end. This is not a team that intimidates me at all. Like, you're not playing the Buffalo Bills again. That's how I feel about this.
I think you guys have brought up some really good points. I think, yeah, for sure, defense is going to anchor everything. I think they're already talking. I think they probably watched film today, or they might be getting together today or right now that the game is over and everybody's starting to watch the film. The film is probably uploaded to their iPads right now, and they're starting to, break down this game. I think one of the things I'm curious to see is what Vance Joseph does in terms of his game plan. Obviously, you have, Josh Allen, you have to cage rush him. And then Nick Bonito obviously has an incredible game, and players make plays. Interesting thing that these last 2 defenses that the Patriots have played are the same defenses. That cover 3, don't blitz, rush 4. So does Vance play that type of thing? Because clearly Drake Maye has struggled against that, where it's all this zone pressure. So I'm curious to see what Vance does, but as much as it is going to be on that defense, bro, I have a great feeling that Stidham is going to. I don't think Sean is going to be like, hey, we got to control the clock. I think Sean is going to be like, hey, bro, if you want to go throw for throw, I'll go throw for throw with you with Stidham. Like, I'll do it.
Just remember, Jarrett Stidham's first start in the NFL, it was with the Raiders, but he threw for 365 yards against the best defense in the NFL that year, the San Francisco 49ers, who went on to go to the Super Bowl that year. Stidham was absolutely balling, and we saw when he came in to fill in for Russ, he did exactly what Russ did throughout the season, and Russ was getting obviously that massive contract. So I believe that Jarrett Stidham's up for this, and man, Sean Payton 100% believes that Jarrett Stidham is up for this. We'll get into that later this week, but you're absolutely right. I think that Sean is not going to back down and act like he's playing with a backup quarterback, because he doesn't believe he's playing with a backup quarterback. He said it last night. He said it again today on his conference call that we had with him, that Jarrett Stidham is a starter in this league. Jarrett believes that, and so does Sean Payton. So I think you guys are right. I think the Patriots might come in here expecting a very dialed back game plan from Sean, and I think he's going to surprise him to the tune of potentially coming out swinging.
They don't believe that.
Where the first play is a potential big play, and Benny, you're saying they don't believe that? Maybe they don't, because they had Jarrett Stidham in the building. Exactly, they had Stidham in the building.
And they believed in him enough to draft him to be a successor. So they know what he's capable of. There's a reason why they drafted him. So I don't think they're going to take it lightly at all.
No, I think if Jarrett Stidham was starting for the Texans today, the Texans would be the team coming to Denver this week. I mean, that's just the truth. Like, I don't even think
that was bad.
I thought CJ Stroud broke the Ohio State quarterback curse. I was completely wrong, bro. He looks just like an Ohio State quarterback. Like, they just don't play well in the NFL.
he was getting touched within like 2 seconds of the ball being snapped. Like, that was crazy. And they're playing, man the whole time, so they're up on them. It's not like you can just dump it off and get rid of it. Like he had to wait for stuff to develop, and it never developed. So yes, he was bad, but no, I don't really think there's any quarterback other than maybe Bo, because Bo doesn't get hit back there, who could have had any success behind that offensive line today.
And guys, we have the line over at Bet365. The Broncos are 4.5-point underdogs in this game. And I got to say, guys, I just thought from a national perspective, it was going to be more. I think I'm a little surprised at how close it is. And I think that's the Broncos and Jarrett Stidham getting some love there from the country. I'm curious what you guys thought of that opening line.
I honestly thought it might be a little bit tighter. Because to me, like, the Broncos aren't a quarterback-driven team. Bo Nix is not the reason they were successful this year. And it's nothing against Bo. It's just that, it's the defense that you point to. It's not like the numbers were all great. You just have those big moments at the end of games. But a lot of what they do, if the Bills lose Josh Allen, that's the entire team. You look around at the other, like Stafford's playing right now. You lose Stafford, that's your entire team. The team they're playing, Drake Maye, maybe not their entire team, but again, like, they rely on him so much. You want Bo, but Stidham is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL, and Bo Nix is another. Like, I think that the difference should be about a touchdown, and I think that they might be about a touchdown favorite had Bo been healthy.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting to me is that, first of all, I don't think they would have been a touchdown favorite. But what's interesting to me is that, the goal of the opening line is they're trying to find a number that will get equal money on each side. So it'll be really interesting to see when we do the show tomorrow morning how it's moved, because that'll tell you what the public or the sharps are thinking, more likely the sharps. But I'm very curious to see what that is, because I have a feeling it's going to early shift Patriots. And then might end up coming back a little closer to like 3.5 by the time the game starts. But I just want to remind everyone in Broncos country, and shout out to everyone who watched the show last night. A lot of people are reaching out today saying they loved it. A couple other people are reaching out saying that they didn't like how much I cursed. So I'm sorry to you and your kids. But everyone else seemed to have fun. We had a lot of fun. But I want to reiterate this. We are now playing with house money. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. Like, there's no reason to not be confident. We don't have to go in with this like, oh yeah, like, I guess like maybe we could potentially win. That would be cool. No, Broncos country should be confident. Be confident in this team. They have withstood every single injury they have faced this year. You saw offensive linemen go down. You saw Pat Surtain go down. This team has taken punches. You saw J.K. Dobbins go down, and they've every single time responded and had, winning streaks that weren't even interrupted by Pat Surtain going down. So there's no reason to, put our tail between our legs and just go in there. No, let's go in. Let's approach this week with confidence, Broncos country.
And that's exactly what Sean Payton is going to do. I saw a comment that said, let's go win it for Bo. I imagine there's going to be a rallying cry in that building to do it extra for him. And they've made it so far. They're gonna be playing with everything out there. And before we get to the super chats really quick, I do just have to say that what Bo Nix did this year was unbelievably special. And he was a massive part of what they did. And Henry, you're still kind of questioning that a little bit with your
I agree with Hank though. It's not a quarterback driven team. There's only 4 of those in the league.
When they needed him, he did it more the most times in the NFL this season. I don't think Hank is
saying that I don't think Hank is disagreeing with you right there. But what I think he is saying is that the Broncos, regardless of if Bo had played really bad games, which he played early on in the season, they were still able to win. So, like, if Matthew Stafford plays really bad, they're not winning any games. 0.
Right. And I think if Stidham's the quarterback of this team, they're not going 14-3 by the playoffs.
Yeah.
They'll win 10 games. They can win 10 games with City.
I don't think anyone's trying to take away from what Bo did at the end of games, and especially at the end of the season where he started being able to have those games like against the Packers or last night where, save for the third quarter, he was good the whole time. But I think the point is the Broncos aren't a quarterback dependent team, meaning you take out the quarterback and it's over.
I think that he is, I mean, the game-winning drives, guys, that's just something that speaks for itself, I think. I mean, what is that? 9 of the 14 wins that the Broncos had, I guess 15 now. But I just had to throw that out there to just, I mean, he was absolutely crucial there. But let's jump into these super chats right now because we've got a lot of people tuning in, and we'd really appreciate it if you hit us with a thumbs up, subscribe to this. Like Ryan teased, we're doing this show tomorrow at 11 a.m., doing it all week, the rest of the week at noon. We'd really
Special
appreciate
guest
it.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a very special guest tomorrow.
Going to get Jameis Winston on.
On the Broncos or on the show?
No, on the Daily Show, because obviously he went 5-2 with Sean as a backup, and like, what's it like? So I called him, so we'll see if he can join. I'll keep you guys posted.
That'd be sick.
That'd be very cool. And I mean, Sean pointed to that today, guys, just about how the Texans earlier this year with a backup quarterback, because someone asked Sean a question and it was phrased as, when a quarterback gets hurt, all bets are lost for some teams. And Sean said, I don't agree with that. Look at the Texans this year. They went undefeated with David Mills. Maybe they'd be playing the Broncos next week if they had David Mills starting today instead. And then he pointed to his time when he had Drew Brees. When Drew got hurt, Teddy Bridgewater came in. Teddy went 5-0. You just mentioned Jameis went 5-2 with Sean. Sean is very successful in these scenarios, so he's certainly not writing them out. But let's get to these super chats. First one coming in from Stephen Sholey, who says, coworker is a bandwagon Bills fan, Raiders fan before. Oof. Oh. He started talking shit about the BS calls, and I just blasted him for being a bandwagon fan. Said he doesn't get an opinion. Am I wrong?
I promise you do not want to get me started on the Jaquan McMillan pick today. That is one of the dumbest, fakest controversies I have ever seen in the NFL. Like, I realize we got to have something to talk about, and every time Josh Allen loses, we have to figure out some other thing to blame it on. But acting like that was not an interception is...
I don't believe it was an interception, okay?
Oh, my God, Benny. Do not start this. Do not
You know better than this.
I don't believe it was. I mean, this is a conversation we can have tomorrow. And look, it's not like I'm not a Broncos fan. Like, I'm glad the guys won, but I believe that it wasn't an interception.
It's such a wide receiver take.
I think there was a play during the Patriots Texans game where they end up calling, and I thought it was they call him down, but it looked like it was a fumble. I feel like that was the same thing.
But they were both holding on to it for a while. We'll talk tomorrow.
We can't do this.
Crash out. Brandon Cooks had caught it, and then Jaquan took it away. But I think if the steal shots that I saw, look, I'm a receiver, bro. So I'm a receiver.
It's 2026. We don't have to use still shots anymore. We have videos.
Great. I feel like if it was the Broncos on the other end, I think you guys would be pissed.
The thought that Brandon Cooks caught the ball never even crossed my mind. Like that, the only other option was incomplete, and obviously it never hit the ground, so then it just wasn't incomplete.
So like, imagine Jaquan didn't hold on to the ball and it just bounced away. There's no way that's a catch, right? It would be incomplete.
Someone's got to mute that ringing sound.
Sorry, that's me. I can't have sound and no sound.
No, you can turn off the sound on that specific app. Or text that person back and say, please stop texting me.
We've done so many remote shows. How do you not have this? I for sure thought it was Benny. I'm sorry, Benny, for thinking that. Well, I think we need Dion to record the pre-show conversation that we're going to have tomorrow on this, because I think it's going to be pretty good. But let's get to the next super chat from Durka 1888, who says, Denver winning at all. Watch. I feel like I've noticed Broncos country in the past 24 hours rallying around that more than I've felt. And obviously, because it's a step closer to the Super Bowl. Now you're only 2 wins away. You just took down Josh Allen. But I kind of love the way the Broncos country is rallying around this a devastating news is what it is. You lose your franchise quarterback, and it really feels like there's been a great rallying cry. And I'll tell you what, talking to multiple players today after they've been able to process the news, they feel the same way, and it's just rallying around Bo. So I absolutely love it, and I thought that the vibes were going to be so down after we found out that news. And shout out to Broncos Country for keeping the vibes up there.
Yeah, so when Sean came out last night, and one of the things he said was like, I just felt like it was best to let everyone know right now. When he said that, I've never disagreed with him more strongly, because I was like, no, just let us have this one night to have fun and then ruin our days tomorrow. Now that I have the benefit of hindsight, I actually think Sean was right, because I woke up this morning already having processed that information. And the first thought I had when I woke up is how sick it's going to be when Jarrett Stidham wins Super Bowl MVP. So, Sean, you were right. I was wrong for originally doubting you. Thank you for allowing me to.
First time you guys have been off.
I know. I appreciate that. I've already processed the information.
So, yeah. Ryan, I do just want to make very clear that Sean did not do this for you. He did not do it for the fans. He did it for the team, because he did not want the team to find out through the media and through a national report breaking it down. Yeah. What?
I mean, it's probably the same.
It was a kind of a lose-lose situation, because they still found out through Sean Payton speaking to the media.
It's
right, but he felt he talked about this multiple times, because he talked about it last night. He also talked about it today to break it down. But he made it very clear that it was for the players, that he wanted them to hear it from his voice more so than a report. He said if the team had met today, if yesterday's game would have been on a Sunday, that he would have held it and hoped that the news didn't break. He would have told the team at 9 a.m. at their team meeting today. But they didn't have that, because the team was off today. Yeah, I think so too. But now he's saying now it's an additional day that they had to hold it for, and he just said there was absolutely no way that was going to hold. So he did it for the team, and it benefited all of us, I think, as well, in just a crazy way.
Yeah, but I think it's the same concept, though. I bet the players on the team feel the same way, that as much as it sucked when they ripped that Band-Aid off last night when everybody wanted to celebrate, it feels a lot better now knowing that Band-Aid's off and that we've had a chance. Because, again, I woke up the same way, where, you know what, the Super Bowl is going to be tough. Seahawks are an absolute buzzsaw, and it'd be really tough to go through them when you're not at full strength. But, again, like, to beat this Patriots team, I think Jarrett Stidham's more than capable. And to have all of that kind of processed and through my mind feels a lot better now than had we waited until news broke today or tomorrow, whenever it would have been. I would imagine they feel the same way.
Hank, man, you sound like is this a guarantee?
It's not a guarantee, but
I have never heard you so confident. That
no, I mean, did you watch
talking about the Patriots like Herbert's the quarterback?
Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, you watch these two games, the Chargers and the Texans games. I mean, that offense just didn't do much at all. And I get, like, there's pressure on Stroud, but man, I mean, that doesn't mean you got to lob the ball up into the middle of the field and let the other team just take it. I in terms of AFC Championship Game opponents, I mean, I think the Broncos are through their toughest task. I think the toughest task was last week. Even without having your starting quarterback this week.
And that's what's so crazy about where the Broncos find themselves right now, because they're playing this game at home. So, just when you play at home, you're going to get some things that go your way. Like the momentum is often on your side, and you can win this with a great game plan and like 3 awesome explosive plays that Sean Payton dials up. And then if you make it to the Super Bowl, it's just like anything can happen, like it is so crazy that the Broncos have found themselves in this situation where they just have to win 2 games. I feel like there's a sick part of Sean Payton where he's like, I love this challenge. Like, I got to find a way to win 2 games in the playoffs with Jarrett Stidham. And I completely agree with what Benny said earlier. We're like, he's not coming out here being like, all right, like, let's protect Jarrett Stidham. I guarantee you one of his first messages is like, you're going to go win us these football games. Not like, hey, manage the game, this, that, and the other. And I'm sure they'll get to that at some point where it's like, hey, we need to make sure we're not taking sacks and that and all that. But like, Sean Payton believes that Jarrett Stidham can make the throws necessary to win this game. And if you go back and win the Super Bowl, if you go back to like the Nick Foles run, they just let it fly. Like Nick Foles was going throw for throw with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. There was no like, all right, we have to dumb down the offense or take this or that out of it. They were just like, we're going to live or die with what we have.
Yeah, and you're kind of betting that the other team says, like, oh, there's no way they unleash it. Like, they're going to play conservative. Like, they're not going to ask Jarrett Stidham. Like, and so they suck everybody up and give you those one-on-one opportunities down the field because he'll hit them.
We got plenty of time to continue to break this down, and we'll hear from Sean Payton later this week as well. He had some very fascinating things that I definitely want to play for you guys. Mindless Moonchild comes in with a super chat and says, I'm mostly concerned that Broncos Country shows up because the New England population in Colorado is way too big.
Didn't know that.
I think Broncos Country is going to
have
show
their
up.
fans there like they usually do, but I don't know. Out of the 76,000, they'll have 3.
Yeah,
the Bills had fans there too yesterday. I mean, I saw them, and it's still, once the game started, you couldn't feel them at all. And that I think that's going to be the case next week as well.
Yeah.
I've never thought of the Patriots as that type of fan base.
The injury piece is interesting. Just because spirits change a little bit, like, are people down on the Broncos a little more than they should be and sell a couple tickets? But I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the ticket prices have dropped significantly.
Really?
Yeah. So that alone probably tells you a little something, but I still don't think.
Still an AFC Championship game. That's surprising to me.
Yeah. Bills fans thought they were gonna like have a presence in there, and they definitely had some people in the stadium, but it did not. It was not a presence.
No, not at all. Neem Dog chimes in and says, the amount of hope I have after that Pats game might be dangerous. Drake, quote, the fumble May. Ain't no party like a stiddy party. LF Bo. I love it.
I will point out, there were a lot of turnovers in that game, but the weather was pretty bad. So it's going to be 50 degrees on Sunday with no rain, no snow.
It's Ryan's perfect football weather right there is what we're getting again. Bradley Howard chimes in and says, these boys got to come into Stiddy City and the Mile High. Give me these Broncos in the Super Bowl. In Stiddy, we trust. GBS or JS Stiddy City GA Ambassador.
That says, God bless Jarrett Stidham.
Oh, wow. I'm just not used to that. I like that. Joey chimes in and says, the fact the media all year long was saying Bo was holding the team back are the same people that are claiming the season is over for Denver. Pick a side.
No, yeah. I mean, we see it on the watch along. How many times are there people saying you got to bench him and put Stidham in? And those are the same people who are now saying the season is over.
I'd be curious. I mean, we could talk about this another time, but if the Broncos didn't win yesterday, what people had said about Bo, because obviously he made some throws, he made some crazy plays. The one weird turnover, but I'd be curious to see like how Broncos Country would have reacted to everything.
What are we talking about? 300 yards. He had no run game. He led the Broncos in rushing. He had almost 300 yards passing. He had 3 touchdowns.
No receivers.
Yeah, clearly the number one receiver in the game, in this specific game, Pat Bryant, got knocked out after his third catch of the game. Yeah. That is, Benny, I think it's a fair question, but the fact that it's even like a question pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, if I was on the traditional post game show last night, my biggest takeaway would have been like the Broncos are set at quarterback for the next decade. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there's these little boxes that you have to check as a quarterback before you get the franchise label. Beating Josh Allen in a playoff game and making the throws the way that he did, like the throw to Marvin Mims alone, just in a vacuum, is like, okay, yep, we got our guy, we're set. And so, yeah, I mean, I've never felt more confident about Bo than I do after that game, which really sucks. But even if somehow Josh Allen goes down and, maybe he hits the opportunity to Dalton Kincaid or one of the several other opportunities that he completely blew, then, I still feel like I would feel the same way about Bo. Like he went toe-to-toe with Josh Allen, the reigning MVP in a playoff game.
He could be what Josh Allen is to Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix would then be to Josh Allen. It's like that's the next hurdle. But instead, he's cleared that hurdle.
Yep.
Rob
he
Blocker
cleared the
chimes
Mahomes
in and
hurdle.
says, I won it for Broncos country, but do you think if Stiddy wins the Super Bowl, they're going to discredit Bo even more? Stiddy win this year and Bo win next year back to back.
Yes,
No,
it will.
they'll discredit him.
And that's just
No.
fine.
Yeah,
You can give
it won't matter.
credit,
Like,
Bo. I don't care. Just win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
If you
Discredit this banner.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Nick Wright thinks Bo Nix is bad. I just could not care less about that clown or any of the other clowns.
Yeah, I think, that's just it's a media thing. And then the way that the people who don't like Bo, that would just be their way to kind of pile on. But it won't really matter because Bo still led them to every game but 2. So, like, it is what it is.
Rod Blocker again says, I usually agree with Henry. Henry, wrong. We won 14 games. The defense, my guys, but Bo needs more credit than that. Defense gave up 17 unanswered, and Bo went down and drove down, and the defense still gave up 3.
Definitely. And I'm not like, first of all, it's fine to disagree. Like, that's A-okay. But I kind of stand by it. Like, yes, you don't win 14 games without Bo, of course. You probably don't win that game without Bo. But if you have Stidham starting quarterback, I think that this is still a playoff team. I think that you just look at the talent all around. I think that you're still right there. And if you tell me, again, like, if you don't have Bo in the game yesterday, you probably don't win. You're not playing that team again. You do it again. Seahawks in the Super Bowl, tough. But this week against that Pats team, I think Stidham gets it done.
Well, and I think that it's funny because we were talking about how all the people who said Bo sucks are now saying the season's over for the Broncos. But I think Bo won a lot of people over last night. And so that's the ironic thing is, like, I think those people, even if they wouldn't have admitted it publicly, internally were like, shit, he actually might be like that. And that's the weird part about this is now they're like, oh, they're not going to have that guy. Well, that guy was awesome last night. And we saw him make those huge plays. Like, well, now they're in trouble. He's actually better than I thought.
I just have to add one thing for those people that feel kind of the same way I do about Bo. He's got a clutch gene that is like historic right now, and that is like not transferable and not easy for other quarterbacks to get. So that's what I would add. Dodger Deluxe.
That's the difference between 14 and 10 wins. Then maybe that's the difference between 14 and 10, or maybe
I think it's more than that. I think it's more than
okay.
that. Dodger Deluxe. What, Benny?
I was going to say, I'd rather have up and down quarterback play throughout the regular season and have clutch quarterback play like Bo played yesterday. Like, very similar to Eli Manning in a way where, hey, he's going to, it's a little bit inconsistent throughout the regular season, but like, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame because he won 2 Super Bowls and he beat Tom Brady. I think when you think about Bo's only in year 2, but Zach, to your point, his clutch gene, and then also the gotta have it situations. Like, he throws perfect passes in gotta have it situations, which is kind of crazy.
And it's not just in the playoffs; it's all regular season in the final 2 minutes and fourth quarter of games. Like, so he might be inconsistent quarters 1 through 3 in the regular season, but every single fourth quarter he's been great.
Totally.
I mean, Tom Brady, I think, was like that throughout his career, bro. He would throw, he threw a pick 6 in the Super Bowl, and then he didn't let it affect him. Or NFC Championship game against the Packers when he was with Tampa, he threw 3 picks in that game, but he never let it affect him. I think Bo has the same traits and characteristics where they have a little bit of that sickness where it doesn't affect them. And like, if Bo Nix has the ball with 2 minutes to go, you can now look at him as that top 4, top 5 quarterback in the league. He honestly is there. He's up there with Mahomes, I believe, and not even more. You can't put Josh Allen in there. I would say Mahomes and Stafford, and now Bo Nix. If they have the ball with 2 minutes to go, and you probably could put Bo over Stafford 2 minutes to go, like, Bo will make the play.
Right.
Yeah.
And as we said in the chat, you don't get here without him.
And Allie turned to me after the Bills kicked the field goal to take a 4-point lead last night. And she just said, how do you feel? And I just said, Bo's got us. Like, so that feeling, like, obviously in that same situation, we'll have no idea if Stiddy's got us. And that's a huge part of it. And I know the whole team feels that way the whole game. Like, close game at the end, Bo's got us.
Exactly. Dodger Deluxe says, I believe in Mile High Magic. Do you Let's go. Don't know how you can't believe in Mile High Magic, and it's going to continue against the Patriots this week. Hayden says, bought a ticket for next week at 7:11 p.m. Nick's injury tweet came at 7:15. Ticket market crashed. Oh,
brutal.
That's tough. Bradley Howard says,
I was going to say, when did the weird Mike Kliss tweet come out?
what was that?
He was like, Bo Nix just exited the side door of the locker room and got into a black car. Like Broncos are hiding something or something like that.
Oh, no, that was after the game. That was after the injury news came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was pre.
No, it was they were just they made everyone get away so no one could see him on crutches, which everyone knew what happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
Bradley Howard says, Benny, you can believe it's not an interception, but the rules don't agree. Cooks never had possession.
Like, we cannot do this.
I don't like. Number one, I don't really care to argue this point at nauseum because it doesn't really matter to me because the Broncos won. But to me, as a receiver, like I would have just assumed that was a catch. I even saw Richard Sherman tweet that, similar to how I thought, like, okay, hey, like they both of their knees hit at the same time. Possession always goes to the offense. And then I think if this was Kansas City, they would have ruled it to Kansas City. If it was Kansas City on offense, they would have gave them the call. That's how I think. I don't really care though. Like it's not a big deal to me. That's just how I think.
I don't want to do it.
I like your perspective there, Benny. Nope. Kyle says, Broncos have literally done this before. 2015, 2025, team of destiny with a backup quarterback and Super Bowl in Santa Clara as well. From 50 to 60, here we go. Broncos in Virginia says, Broncos, we got this. RK, our lead staying in CYOG.
Our lead staying up, he asks. Yes, of course, we're staying up. MOT.
Good. We got Guerreros who says, Patriots coming to Denver. It feels like old times. It does. We had two of these in the Peyton Manning era. And, man, we were robbed of Bo Nix, Drake Maye, part 1. But Stiddy City's going to have it for the Broncos. And then we have our final one from Rod Blocker who says, we were in salary cap hell. Bo will be a top 5 soon. And, man, that is just like the realization that hits me like once a week, like, oh yeah, still got $35 million of Russell Wilson dead cap on the books this year. And they're still in the AFC Championship game and they've got a shot. They have a legitimate shot to make the Super Bowl, which is just incredible. It speaks to how good of a coach Sean Payton is and how good of a job George Payton has done and how good of a job this ownership group has done. They haven't even owned the team for 3 full years and they're doing all of this right now. So just absolutely incredible all the way around. Guys, any final thoughts before we log off? And of course, we got a whole week to continue to break this down.
It was just so fun watching that game. I mean, you watch the Texans out there and you're just like, oh, I hope we play them. And then the Patriots go out there and you're like, oh, I hope we play them. And then by the time you get to the end, you're like, this is incredible. Give me either one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. My final thought is stay confident. There's no reason not to. Believe in this team.
I completely agree.
I don't have any final thoughts. I think it is going to be. Well, yeah, I do have final thoughts. Number one, I wish Bo was playing. And number two, it's really good just to have the AFC Championship back in Denver.
Yep, it is.
Amen.
It is. It's going to be absolutely electric. That Mile High Magic. Bring on the Patriots, where Denver is a house of horrors. We're going to be back. Benny teased one guest that he might try to get. There's another guest that he's bringing on tomorrow. You guys are not going to want to miss this. Show is at 11 a.m. Make sure to tune in, hit us with a thumbs up, subscribe, and enjoy the AFC Championship week starting now. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.
God bless Jarrett Stidham.
We all silly like the mayor.